Hare Krishna. Prabhu, do you want a translation for your...
Yes. Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Mataji.
பிரபுபாதவிற்கு உரித்தாகுக, குரு மற்றும் கௌரங்காவிற்கும் எல்லா புகழ்களும் உரித்தாகுக. முதன்மையாக நான் உங்கள் அனைவரையும் இந்த ஆதிவாச திருவிழாவிற்கு உங்களை வரவேற்கின்றேன்.
This Adivas ceremony, we do this ceremony program just one day before the actual celebration of Sri Krishna Janmastami.
இந்த ஆதிவாச திருவிழாவை நாம் ஸ்ரீ கிருஷ்ண ஜன்மாஷ்டமிக்கு ஒரு நாள் முன்பதாக கொண்டாடுகின்றோம்.
So during that time, we offer very auspicious articles for the pleasure of Sri Sri Radha and Krishna.
இந்த நேரத்தில் நாம் ஸ்ரீ ஸ்ரீ ராதா மற்றும் கிருஷ்ணா அவர்களுக்கு பல மங்களகரமான பொருட்களை அர்ப்பணம் செய்து அவர்களை மகிழ்விக்கின்றோம்.
There are about 26 auspicious items will be shown to the deities and will offer to earth, Bhuma Devi and to Tulasi Devi.
ஏறத்தாழ 26 பொருட்களை நாம் பூமா தேவி மற்றும் துளசி தேவி மற்றும் விக்கிரகங்களுக்கு அர்ப்பணம் செய்வோம்.
Then we offer to our Guru Parampara, our Acharyas, and to all the devotees as a prasad.
அதன் பிறகு அந்த பிரசாதத்தை குரு பரம்பராவிற்கும் மற்ற பக்தர்களுக்கும் அர்ப்பணம் செய்வோம்.
Unfortunately, due to current situation, pandemic, COVID-19, so we are not able to get together. Nevertheless, we invite all of you on virtual in Zoom program.
துரதிர்ஷ்டவசமாக COVID-19 பேண்டமிக் நிலையில் நாம் எல்லோரும் ஒன்றாக நேருக்கு நேர் காண முடியாத ஒரு நிலைமையில் இருக்கின்றோம். இருப்பினும் கூட இந்த இணையதளத்தில் நாம் எல்லோரும் ஒன்று கூடி இந்த விழாவை கொண்டாடுவோம்.
So while our pujaris are preparing for this Adivas ceremony, and for this ceremony, we will have a very special guest, His Holiness Bhakti Vigna Narsingha Swami Maharaj.
பூஜாரிகள் இப்பொழுது இந்த ஆதிவாச திருவிழாவிற்கு ஏற்பாடுகளை செய்து கொண்டிருக்கிறார்கள். அது நடந்து கொண்டிருக்கும் போது நமக்கு இன்று ஒரு விசேஷ விருந்தினராக அருட்திரு பக்தி விக்ன விநாச நரசிங்க மகாராஜ் அவர்கள் வருகை புரிய இருக்கின்றார்.
So after the Adivas ceremony, His Holiness will deliver a spiritual talk on significance of Sri Krishna Janmastami.
இந்த ஆதிவாச திருவிழாவிற்கு பிறகு மகாராஜ் அவர்கள் ஒரு ஆன்மீக சொற்பொழிவாற்றுவார். அதாவது ஸ்ரீ கிருஷ்ண ஜன்மாஷ்டமியின் முக்கியத்துவத்தை பற்றி ஒரு ஆன்மீக சொற்பொழிவாற்றுவார்.
After Maharaj's speech, there will be Arati for the Lordship Sri Sri Radha Gokulananda.
மகாராஜ் சொற்பொழிவை முடித்தவுடன் ஸ்ரீ ஸ்ரீ ராதா கோகுலநந்த விக்கிரகங்களுக்கு ஆராதனை நடைபெறும்.
And end of the sessions, I'll be inviting the organizing chairman for this Janmashtami festival and the vice president of Sri Jagannath Mandir, His Grace Siddhi Sadhana Prabhu, to elaborate the program for Sri Krishna Janmashtami and Srila Prabhupada Vyasa Puja.
ஆராதனை நடந்த பிறகு இந்த விழாவின் ஸ்ரீ கிருஷ்ண ஜன்மாஷ்டமி மற்றும் வியாச பூஜா விழாக்களின் தலைவராக, நிர்வாக குழு தலைவராக திகழும் மற்றும் அவர் இந்த ஆலயத்தின் உப தலைவராகவும் திகழ்கின்றார். அவரே ஸ்ரீமான் சித்தி சாதன பிரபு அவர்கள் இந்த விழாவை பற்றி இன்னும் விரிவாக நடக்க போகும் நிகழ்ச்சிகளை பற்றி நமக்கு விவரிப்பார்.
So once again, I thank all of you for joining this Adivas ceremony. Please stay and witness this wonderful, beautiful ceremony of Adivas.
மீண்டும் ஒருமுறை உங்கள் எல்லோரையும் இந்த ஆதிவாச விழாவிற்கு உங்களை அழைக்கின்றேன். நீங்கள் எல்லோரும் பொறுமையாக இருந்து இந்த ஆதிவாச விழாவை கண்டு களிக்குமாறு வேண்டிக் கொள்கின்றோம்.
Hare Krishna, Sri Sri Radha Gokulanda Bhagavani ki jai, Sri Krishna Janmastami Maha Mahotsavi ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
উৎসবের লাগি আয়োজন করেছে আহারে আহারে উলুধ্বনি হরিধ্বনি আহারে 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 কৃপা করি করো আগমন কৃপা করি তোমরা বৈষ্ণবগণ মরয়ে নিবেদন তোমরা বৈষ্ণবগণ মরয়ে নিবেদন দৃষ্টি করি করো সমাপন দৃষ্টি করি করো সমাপন করি এত নিবেদন আনিল মহান্তগণ আর করি এত নিবেদন আনিল মহান্তগণ করি এত কীর্তনের করে অধিবাস কীর্তনের করে অধিবাস কীর্তনের করে অধিবাস কীর্তন হবে মহোৎসব বিলাস। বলে কালি হবে মহোৎসব বিলাস, কালি হবে মহোৎসব বিলাস। আজ দিবস কালী মহোৎসব বিলাস, আজ দিবস কালী মহোৎসব বিলাস, আজ দিবস আজ অধিবাস অধিবাস কালী মহোৎসব বিলাস, আজ অধিবাস বলে কালী মহোৎসব বিলাস, আজ অধিবাস আজ অধিবাস অধিবাস কালী মহোৎসব বিলাস, আজ অধিবাস কালী মহোৎসব বিলাস, আজ অধিবাস কালী মহোৎসব বিলাস, আজ অধিবাস কালী হবে মহোৎসব বিলাস, কালী হবে শ্রীকৃষ্ণের লীলা গান করিবেন আস্বাদন। আর মহাপ্রভু লীলা করিবেন আস্বাদন। মহাপ্রভু পুরিবে সবার অভিলাষ, পুরিবে সবার অভিলাষ, পুরিবে সবার অভিলাষ। সীমা নাই, সীমা নাই, সীমা নাই। বলে নিরানন্দ দূরে গেল আনন্দের সীমা নাই। বলে নিরানন্দ দূরে গেল আনন্দের সীমা নাই। আজ সীমা নাই, সীমা নাই, আজ সীমা নাই, সীমা নাই। বলে নিরানন্দ দূরে গেল আনন্দের সীমা নাই। বলে কত নাই আনন্দ হইয়া আনন্দের সীমা নাই। আর কত নাই আনন্দ হইয়া আনন্দের সীমা নাই। আর নিরানন্দ দূরে গেল আনন্দের সীমা নাই। উলু উলু ধরা হরে ধরা গাছ। আহারে 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 আহারে। গুণ গায় বৃন্দাবন গুণ গায়, গুণ গায়, গুণ গায়, গুণ গায়, গুণ গায় বৃন্দাবন গুণ গায়, গুণ গায়, গুণ গায়, গুণ গায়, গুণ গায় বৃন্দাবন আগে রম্ভায়া রোপণ পূর্ণ ঘট স্থাপন আগে রম্ভায়া রোপণ পূর্ণ ঘট স্থাপন আম্র পল্লব সারে সারি আম্র পল্লব সারে সারি আম্র পল্লব সারে সারে আম্র পল্লব সারে সারে ধ্বনি পড়ে নারী গণ জয়কারে বলে দ্বিজ বেদ ধ্বনি পড়ে নারী গণ জয়কারে বলে দ্বিজ বেদ ধ্বনি পড়ে নারী গণ জয়কারে দ্বিজ বেদ ধ্বনি পড়ে নারী গণ জয়কারে আর সবে বলে হরি হরি আহা মোরে আর সবে বলে হরি হরি সকলে দুই হাত উপরে, দুই বাহু তুলে হেলে তুলে। এভরিবডি রেজ ইউর হ্যান্ড, ঢুলে ঢুলে। হরি বল বলে, হরে হরি বল বলে, বলে প্রেমানন্দ বাহু তুলে হরি বল বলে। বাহু তুলে হেলে তুলে হরি বল বলে। বলে বাহু তুলে হেলে তুলে হরি বল বলে। জয় দাও জয় দাও, বলে জয় দাও জয় দাও। হরি 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 বলে জয় দাও জয় দাও। বলে জয় দিলে জয় হবে, জয় দাও জয় দাও। জয় দিলে জয় হবে, জয় দাও জয় দাও। উলুধ্বনি দাও গো, বলে উলুধ্বনি দাও গো। বলে হরি 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 বলে উলুধ্বনি দাও গো। হরি 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 বলে উলুধ্বনি দাও গো। বলে হরি 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 বলে উলুধ্বনি দাও। উলুধ্বনি হরি ধরে। হরি বল হরি বল, 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 হরি বল হরি বল। দধিঘৃত মঙ্গল করি সবে উতরল, দধিঘৃত মঙ্গল করি সবে উতরল। করিয়ায় আনন্দ পরকার, বলে করিয়ায় আনন্দ পরকার। আনিয়া বৈষ্ণব গণ দিয়া মালা চন্দন, বলে আনিয়া বৈষ্ণব গণ দিয়া মালা চন্দন। কীর্তন মঙ্গলয় ধিবা, কীর্তন মঙ্গলয় ধিবা, কীর্তন মঙ্গলয় ধিবা, কীর্তন মঙ্গলয় ধিবা। আজ বরণ করে নীল, বরণ করে নীল, বলে মাল্য চন্দন দিয়া বরণ করে নীল। মাল্য চন্দন দিয়া বরণ করে নীল।
नमो ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवारी पश्चाचार्य सतनि। श्री कृष्ण भगवान की जय। Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda Bhagavan ki jai, Shri Krishna Janmastami Mahotsav ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. So, Hare Krishna, we just watched the Adivas ceremony for Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda. Santi Rup Mataji, Tamil translation.
Maji, you're muted, Mataji. Santi Maji, you're mute.
Mataji, unmute Mataji. Unmute yourself. Okay.
Okay.
Now here.
ஹரே கிருஷ்ணா. நாம் இப்பொழுது ஸ்ரீ ஸ்ரீ ராதா கோகுலானந்தா அவர்களுக்கு சமர்ப்பித்த ஆதிவாஸ்
Hare
விழாவை
Krishna,
கண்டு
Shanti Mataji.
கழித்தோம்.
Good. All right. So now with us, we have the guest of a speaker today. A special guest, His Holiness Bhakti Vigna Vinasa Nrsimha Maharaj, who's also a spiritual master in ISKCON.
இப்பொழுது நம்முடன் விசேஷ விருந்தினராக அருட்திரு பக்தி விக்ன வினாஷ் நரசிங்க மகாராஜ் அவர்கள் நம்மோடு இருக்கின்றார். அவர் அகில உலக கிருஷ்ண பக்தி இயக்கத்தின் ஆன்மீக குருவாக திகழ்கிறார்.
So we all be waiting for Maharaj talk, that Maharaj going to speak about the significance of celebrating Sri Krishna Janmastami.
நாம் இப்பொழுது எல்லோரும் காத்து கொண்டிருக்கிறோம். அருட்திரு மகாராஜ் அவர்கள் ஸ்ரீ கிருஷ்ண ஜென்மாஷ்டமியின் முக்கியத்தை பற்றி உரையாற்றுவார்.
So without delaying, I invite His Grace Rasaprayana Prabhu on behalf of the Sri Jagannath Mandir Temple Management Council to offer garland to our Holiness Bhakti Vigna Nrsimha Maharaj.
இன்னும் நேரத்தை தாமதம் செய்யாமல் நான் ஸ்ரீமான் ராசபராயண பிரபு அவர்களை மகாராஜ் அவர்களுக்கு மாலை அணிவிக்க வரவேற்கின்றேன்.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Suswagatam Maharaj, Suswagatam. Suswagatam Maharaj, welcome. So please kindly accept our offering garland of the Mahaprasad from the Lordship Maharaj. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
So thank you, you may begin, Maharaj. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Om Jnanatimmarandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chaksuran Militanyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vanchakalpatarabhyasya Kripa Sindhu Bhayevata Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So today is the day before Krishna Janmastami. So I was thinking I'd speak about the advent of Lord Krishna as it's described in the 10th canto Srimad Bhagavatam, first chapter. In preparation for Lord Krishna's appearance, we have to understand the situation. Srimad Bhagavatam describes to us how prior to the appearance of Lord Krishna, the world was overburdened by many different demoniac kings. And Mother Bhumi was in a distressing condition. In her distress, she approached Lord Brahma. And when she approached there, along with all the demigods, including Lord Shiva, she came to Lord Brahma and explained the situation, how she was greatly aggrieved and distressed because of the burden of so many demoniac kings on her planet. The Kshatriyas are the kings. Now, in the past, it's described in Srimad Bhagavatam how the Kshatriyas come either from the sun god or from the moon god. So either there's the Chandravamsa or the Suryavamsa. Suryavamsa or Somavamsa, right? Soma, the moon. So these two lines. And when the Lord incarnates, when the personality of Godhead comes, he will usually appear in the line of the Kshatriya kings. Just like as Lord Ramachandra, he appeared in the Kshatriya kings coming from the sun god, the Suryavamsa. So on this occasion, when Mother Bhumi came to Lord Brahma, appealing for something to be done about this situation, Lord Brahma then approached Lord Vishnu, who resides in the universe on an island in the middle of the Milk Ocean in Svetadweep. So Lord Brahma could communicate with Lord Vishnu by meditation. Just like we communicate with our mobile phones. So Lord Brahma, he could do it all simply by meditation. And he was able to take a message from Lord Vishnu, and Lord Vishnu instructed all the demigods that they should take birth in the families connected with the Yadu dynasty, and that very soon he would also come himself. He would also incarnate himself in this world, in the Yadu dynasty. Now, the Yadus were known for their religiosity, for being very pious, and for being great devotees of Lord Vishnu. So it was appropriate that the Lord would appear in their dynasty. So Mother Bhumi was very, well, at least somewhat pacified to understand that the Lord was aware of her plight and that soon something was going to be done to adjust for the situation. Of course, the Lord is going to appear on the planet, just like we're planning to celebrate tomorrow the occasion, the anniversary of the appearance of Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna comes on we call it the Janmastami. Astami meaning the 8th day of the moon. So 5,000 years ago, when Lord Krishna appeared on this planet, Lord Krishna came on the 8th day, but although it was the 8th day, it was a full moon. Now, usually the moon is not full on the 8th day. There's 14 days usually before the moon is full. It would be Chaturdasi. However, the Acharyas explained to us that the moon was full because the moon was rejoicing that Lord Krishna had chosen to appear in the dynasty which comes down from him. As we said, Lord Rama came in the Surya Vamsa, but Lord Krishna comes in the Soma Vamsa. So the moon was very happy. And to show his pleasure, he appeared as a full moon that night. Srimad Bhagavatam also describes that the particular day in which Lord Krishna appeared, well, of course, it was a night, and the stroke of midnight when Lord Krishna appeared, that everything was perfect arrangement. All the different planets were in very auspicious positions, and auspicious constellations like Rohini and stars like Ashwini, they were all visible, and everything was very auspicious. Those persons who are versed in the science of astrology, they can produce the chart, just like for all of us, you know, we can show our birth chart, we can have our birth chart drawn up, and we can understand some of our different characteristic traits from the birth chart. So similarly, at the time of Lord Krishna's appearance, if we were to drop the birth chart of the appearance of Lord Krishna, then it shows that actually only the Supreme Personality of Godhead could appear at such a time. Everything was so perfect, everything was completely auspicious. So it was in this way that Lord Krishna advented into this world. And we're told from the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna himself states the reason for his coming into the world. Paritranaya sadhunam vinaschaya chaduskritam dharma samstarpanartaya sambhavami yuge yuge. In order to give pleasure to the pious and annihilate the miscreants, as well as establish the principles of religion, I advent myself millennium after millennium. So there are a few things which we want to understand about the appearance of Lord Krishna. First of all, we want to appreciate that when Lord Krishna came into this world 5,000 years ago, he was not just simply the avatar of Vishnu. He was not just simply an avatar of technology, sometimes more trouble than it's worth. So when Lord Krishna comes into this world, he was not just simply an avatar of Lord Vishnu, but he was actually the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Swayam Bhagavan, Lord Sri Krishna himself. As we know from Srimad Bhagavatam, in the 3rd chapter of the 1st canto, when Sukadeva Goswami or Sutta Goswami is listing the different incarnations of the Lord, then he mentions Ete Chamsa Kala Pumsa Krishnas tu Bhagavan Swayam. That Lord Sri Krishna is not just simply an avatar, but he is avatari. He is the source of all the avatars. And that personality of Godhead, that Swayam Bhagavan Sri Krishna, is the personality who appeared in this world 5,000 years ago. So he was complete in all of his opulences. Of course, we cannot appreciate his completeness. We are the conditioned souls. We have limited senses. Our understanding is limited. But we can understand with scriptural references and with the guidance of the acharyas, we can understand that this Lord Sri Krishna is actually Swayam Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Other millenniums, other ages, different times, then it would be the avatar. It would be the avatar coming from Kshirodakshayi Vishnu. But the incarnation of the Lord who came 5,000 years ago was the Swayam Bhagavan Sri Krishna. And he comes to establish the religious principles and to give pleasure to his devotees. He does not personally need to come just to establish the religious principles. And he does not need to come to kill the demons. But it is only he who can give that pleasure to his unalloyed devotees. And Lord Krishna performed his pastimes like that for the pleasure of his devotees. Just like we know how Lord Krishna danced the Rasa Leela to give pleasure for all of his devotees. So we want to appreciate that Lord Sri Krishna coming to this world is the Swayam Bhagavan Sri Krishna. We want to also appreciate that when the Lord came into this world, he doesn't just come as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki, but he is actually the son of Nanda and Yashoda. This is pointed out also to us at great length by acharyas like Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and he gives a lot of scriptural evidence to establish that when Krishna appeared in this world 5,000 years ago, he actually came as the son of Nanda and Yashoda. So who was this child who appears to Vasudeva and Devaki? That is Vasudeva Krishna. But the child who appears to Nanda and Yashoda, that is Shyam Sundar Krishna. Vasudeva Krishna is the forearm form of Lord Krishna. We know at the time of Lord Krishna's appearance in the prison house of Kamsa, the Lord appeared fully dressed and decorated with all ornaments in his forearm form, carrying the symbols of Vishnu, the conch shell, the club, the lotus, and the Sudarshan chakra. And seeing this form, Vasudeva and Devaki offered their prayers to the Lord. Srimad Bhagavatam describes how Vasudeva, seeing the Lord appear, mentally he arranged to give cows in charity. And it mentions that he gave within his mind, he arranged 10,000 cows to be given in charity to qualified brahmanas in honor of the birth of his son. And then Vasudeva and Devaki, they offered their prayers to the Supreme Lord. And they described also his different activities. Mother Devaki mentions, she describes how the Lord had come previously as their son, because Vasudeva and Devaki in their previous lives, they had done great austerities. That previously they were Sutapa and Prishni. And as Sutapa and Prishni, they underwent great austerities for 1,000 years of the demigods, eating only dry leaves that fell from the tree in order to get the Lord as their child. So they got the benediction to have the Lord as their child. The first incarnation was Prishnigarbha, who appeared to Sutapa and Prishni as their child. Then the second incarnation was when Prishni and Sutapa came as Aditi and Kashyapa. And as Aditi and Kashyapa, the Lord came as Vanmanadev or Upendra. He appeared as their child. And now, for the third incarnation, the Lord has come. Krishna and Sutapa have become Vasudeva and Devaki, and the Lord has appeared, Lord Vasudeva Krishna, the four-armed form of Lord Krishna. Vasudeva and Devaki were able to receive the Lord as their son, but Devaki, Mother Devaki, was worried for the safety of her child because she had already seen 6 of her sons killed by the evil king Kamsa, who was like a brother to Devaki. Kamsa was threatened. He had heard the omen that the 8th child of Vasudeva and Devaki will kill you. So when Kamsa heard this omen, at first he was going to kill Devaki. But Vasudeva was an expert politician, and he was able to plead to Kamsa. He spoke philosophically, first of all, but the philosophy was not able to convince Kamsa. But then Vasudeva made a promise to Kamsa that I will bring the children, that whenever my wife gives birth to children, I will bring the children to you. So on the basis of Vasudeva's own honesty, Kamsa accepted to spare the life of Devaki. And then one after another, Vasudeva and Devaki had children, but Kamsa, and they presented to Kamsa. At first, Kamsa didn't want to do anything. He thought, it's okay, this child is not going to give any trouble to me. This is just the first child. It's the 8th child I have to worry about. So Kamsa was not inclined to kill any of the children until the 8th one came. But Narada Muni came and he told Kamsa, you should be careful that the demigods are all taking birth in the line of the Yadu dynasty. Vasudeva and Devaki were in that line of the Yadu dynasty. And they're coming, they're going to come, they're going to help to kill you and all the demonic kings who support you. So when Kamsa heard this, then he came and he got the sons of Devaki, one after another, he had them killed. However, 7th child was very special. 7th child was Lord Balaram. Lord Balaram, who had come as a plenary portion of Sankarshan, he had appeared in the womb of Devaki. So in the pastimes of Lord Rama, we see Lakshman as the younger brother. But in the pastimes of Lord Krishna, Balaram is the older brother. And it's pointed out that Lord Balaram came as the older brother because he knew that if he came as the younger brother, previously in the pastimes of Lord Ram, there was so much difficulty there trying to serve the older brother. Because the older brother's in charge, he's the boss. So he would give the orders, the instructions to the younger brother. So it was difficult being the younger brother. Lakshman would want to make arrangements for the comfort of Sita and Ram, and Lord Ram would refuse. Lord Rama would say, no, this is the forest. We've come here to do austerity. Don't give me all these comforts. So it was very disturbing for Lakshman. So in the next incarnation, he came as the older brother. And as the older brother, Lord Balaram, he's able to offer all kinds of arrangements and to serve Lord Krishna in all different ways. And one of the ways in which he served Lord Krishna was before Lord Krishna appeared in the womb of Devaki, Lord Balaram came as the 7th child, and he arranged to clean the womb, to make the womb suitable for the appearance of Lord Krishna. And he even left a bed in the womb of Devaki. That bed is the expansion of Ananta Shesha, who appears there in the form of a bed for the service of Lord Krishna. Because Lord Balaram knows Lord Krishna is going to come here, I want him to be comfortable. So he arranged a transcendental bed to be left within the womb of Devaki, so that Lord Krishna, when he came there, would not experience any inconvenience. But then it was arranged that Lord Balaram would not take birth from the womb of Devaki, because Kamsa is going to kill all the children she gives birth to. So Lord Balaram did not take birth from the womb of Devaki. He spent some months there in the womb of Devaki, but then with the help of Yoga Maya, he was transferred to the womb of Rohini. Rohini was another wife of Vasudeva, and she was staying in the home of Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda. Vasudeva had sent Rohini there for her own safety, because he knew that Kamsa is very demonic and he's persecuting so many people. So for the safety of that wife, Vasudeva had several wives. He told Rohini, you go and stay in Gokul at the home of Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda. You will be safe there. So Lord Balaram was transferred to the womb of Rohini. And he's in the womb of Rohini for several months before taking birth. So about 14 months, Lord Balaram spent first in the womb of Devaki and then in the womb of Rohini. And then he takes birth. We celebrated Balaram Purnima just some 8 days before Janmastami, right? The Purnima and then the Astami. So there's 8 days between the appearance of Lord Balaram and the appearance of Lord Krishna. So it's very convenient. The two brothers both there in the home of Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda, and they can grow up together. So I was describing that actually Krishna is not just simply the son of Vasudeva and Devaki. That was Vasudeva Krishna. So at the request of Devaki, she requested Vasudeva Krishna to take the form of a child, that she thought it will be very embarrassing, it will be very uncomfortable if people know that you appeared in the form of Lord Vishnu. What kind of couple is it who have a child with 4 arms? We never heard it. We never saw anybody with a child with 4 arms. So they requested this form of Vasudeva Krishna to take the form of a child. And then, by the help of Yoga Maya, Nanda Maharaj could bring that child out of the prison house of Kamsa. Everyone was in slumber. Everyone was in a state of mystic sleep. And Vasudeva could bring the child out from the prison house. He could cross the Yamuna River and come to the home of Nanda Maharaj. And in the home of Nanda Maharaj, everyone was also asleep there. But Mother Yashoda had given birth to 2 children. One was the boy and one was a girl. The girl was the younger one. The child is Shyamsundar Krishna. So when Vasudeva brought over this Vasudeva Krishna form entered into the Shyamsundar form of Krishna, and they became one child. Shyamsundar Krishna possesses all the other forms, all the subordinate forms of Lord Krishna. Everything comes from Krishna, and that original form is the Shyamsundar Krishna. So the Vasudev form entered into the Shamsundar form, became one, and then Vasudev took the girl who had been born to Mother Yashoda, and that girl is actually Yoga Maya. And then as he's taking her, but when he brings her back to the prison house of Kamsa, then she becomes Mahamaya, because Kamsa is going to come. When he heard that a child had been born, Kamsa came and he immediately wanted to try to kill that child. So that form rose up in the sky. This is Mahamaya. She rose up into the sky and showed herself as a deity, worshipable deity. So Kamsa saw he could not actually harm this child. This was actually a demigod who had appeared to him. And that deity said it's gone to the Vindhya hills and is worshipped there in the Vindhya hills. So this was all happening at the appearance of Lord Krishna. With the appearance of Lord Krishna, Shamsundar Krishna has come as the child of Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda, because they are always Krishna's parents. Vasudeva and Devaki, they got the blessing from Krishna that they could give birth to the Lord as their child, but they could not enjoy his pastimes. Enjoying his pastimes, that is, the childhood pastimes are only for Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda. They're the ones who are allowed that privilege. Mother Devaki, she could give birth to the Lord, but the Lord never even had the chance to drink her milk. It is said later on, after Lord Krishna has grown up a bit, and then he comes back to Mathura, and Kamsa arranges the wrestling match. So then Lord Krishna deals with the wrestlers, and then he kills King Kamsa. And after that, then he frees Vasudeva and Devaki from the prison house which they'd been in. And Vasudeva and Devaki, they want that their son should get some education. So they sent him to Sandipani Muni's ashram for their education. And when they came back after their education, then Devaki heard how Sandipani Muni's son had been brought back from death. Because Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram were there in Sandipani Muni's ashram. So after their training, after their education, they wanted to give some Guru Dakshin to Sandipani Muni. So Sandipani Muni understood their very unique abilities. He told them that previously I lost my son, that he drowned at the beach. So he asked Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram, can you bring back my son from death? So for Lord Krishna and Balaram, this is not a problem. They can do that. If someone is actually God, they can bring someone back from death. And Krishna did that not only just for Sandipani Muni, he's going to do it several other times. So Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram went to the ocean. They went there, couldn't find. They couldn't find him there. But then they searched again, and then they found him. I think it was in some other planet, or anyway, they brought him back and gave him to Sandipani Muni. And when Devaki heard this, then she requested Lord Krishna that, I heard you brought your guru's son back from death. Can you bring back your 6 brothers? Because Devaki was lamenting that her 6 sons had all been killed by Kamsa. So she thought since Krishna is so powerful, let him bring back the 6 sons who've been killed by Kamsa. So Lord Krishna, he did it. He went and he found them at Sutala Loka, where Bali Maharaj was residing. Actually, it's Bali Maharaj's residence there. And the 6 sons who'd been killed by Kamsa were all there. And Lord Krishna brought them back to Mother Devaki. Now, Mother Devaki, when she was released from prison, she was so happy that she was able to give some breast milk to Krishna, because for a long time she had not had the opportunity to have that pleasure of mothering her son, Krishna. She was thinking this Krishna, although he was actually the son of Nanda Maharaj, she was thinking, this is my son. So she fed her breast milk to Lord Krishna. And then Lord Krishna brought the 6 sons back from Sutala Loka. And then she also fed her breast milk to them. So they were taking the prasad of Lord Krishna, because Lord Krishna had already taken the breast milk from Devaki. So it was now prasadam. So the 6 sons, they all came, they also drank the milk from Devaki's breast. And after they drank the milk from Devaki's breast, then they were all purified and they could go back to the heavenly planets. Because these 6 sons were actually the sons of Marichi, who had been cursed. They'd been cursed. They had actually couple of curses. First of all, as the sons of Marichi, they were cursed. They had to take birth in the family of Hiranyakashipu, and they were the sons of Kalanemi. However, when they were the sons of Kalanemi, they worshipped Lord Brahma, and their purpose in worshipping Lord Brahma was that they should not be killed by any demigod. So it happened that Hiranyakashipu found out how these 6 sons had all been worshipping Hiranyakashipu, and had all been worshipping Lord Brahma independently of him. And Hiranyakashipu did not like this at all. He is very angry that you want to be independent of me. You worship Lord Brahma independent of me without my direction. He said, you think you're so smart? You think you can avoid death in this way? He said, therefore, let me tell you, in the future, you will take birth as the sons of Devaki, and you will be killed by your father. And that's what happened. Kalanemi, who had been their father, became Kamsa. And Kamsa comes and he kills the 6 sons of Devaki. Kamsa, of course, did not know that these were originally his sons. But this is how the pastime is explained. So just to understand the nature of this material world, all the killing which is going on. So Lord Krishna has come, he has appeared in this world to bring us to the transcendental platform and to show us the pastimes of Vrindavan. It's Shamsundar Krishna who performs the pastimes in Vraja. The killing of the demons, that's done by Vasudeva Krishna. But the actual giving of pleasure to his devotees, that is only Shamsundar Krishna who can give that pleasure to his devotees. So Lord Krishna comes and he enacts his pastimes with his devotees. And we see Lord Krishna with all the cowherd boys playing in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj. And as they grow up, they go into the forests every day, bringing the calves. They would take the calves and cows into the forest. And Lord Krishna would enjoy the company of all these cowherd boys. And who are these cowherd boys? Of course, they're all very, very great souls who perform pious activities over many, many lifetimes. And now they're able to enjoy the intimate dealing with Lord Krishna in the forests of Vrindavan, playing games, riding on each other's back, fighting and wrestling with each other. They're able to see Krishna. Every day, Lord Krishna would simply wake up in the morning, and after bathing and dressing, then he would call the cowherd boys, and they would all come, they would all assemble, they would all be eager to go with Lord Krishna into the forests of Vrindavan, and they would enjoy sporting there together. And Lord Krishna would also go in the night. In the day, he would go with the cowherd boys, and at night, secretly, he would go with the gopis, and they would have Rasa Leela together in the forests of Vrindavan. In this way, Lord Krishna would be giving the greatest pleasure to his devotees. Lord Krishna's pastimes are all full of bliss, not just only for the gopis and the cowherd boys, but for all the residents of Vrindavan. They all love Krishna so much. Of course, Lord Krishna only spends the early part of his appearance in this world there, up to the age of, was it 14? And then Lord Krishna will go to Mathura, and he will stay in Mathura for some time, and then he will go to Dwarka. And he will complete his pastimes in Dwarka. But it is Vrindavan which is the perfection of Lord Krishna's pastimes. We say Krishna is perfect in Dwarka, he's more perfect in Mathura, and he is most perfect in Vrindavan. In Dwarka, he's also Krishna, but actually that's Vasudev Krishna. Again, the Shyam Sundar Krishna is the Krishna in Vrindavan. He stays in Vrindavan. And what happens when Krishna leaves Vrindavan? Shyam Sundar Krishna hides himself in the hearts of the gopis. He remains in Vrindavan, but he remains hidden in the hearts of the gopis. So this is the wonder of Lord Krishna's pastimes. Lord Krishna appears in this world to give pleasure to all of the devotees. And as devotees, we want to relish hearing about topics of Krishna. So in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Sukadeva Goswami begins the 10th canto speaking about the pastimes of Lord Krishna, and he describes there are some people who are not able to hear the pastimes of Krishna. He explains we have to hear the pastimes of Krishna from the devotees. Nivritta Tasher Upagiya Manach Bhavo Shadat Shrotram Manobhiramat Kadutama Sloka Gnanuna Pumam Virajeta Vina Pashugna. Pashugna means the killer of the animals. Somebody who is a killer of his own self or a killer of animals. They're not qualified to hear the pastimes of Krishna. They will never be able to understand. And who is able to speak on the pastimes of Krishna? Those who are Nivritta Tasher, who are freed of all material activities. They have no business with the material world. They have dedicated themselves fully to the service of Lord Krishna. This is the right person to deliver the message of Krishna. So those who are killers of their own self, those who commit suicide or who kill the cow, then they have no qualification to hear. They can never understand the topics of Krishna. And this means a killer of the self are those persons who are dedicated to material pleasure. Their interest is simply artha and kama. They're only thinking about economic development and sense gratification, and maybe even moksha, liberation. But they have no concern to cultivate the mood of devotion. They have no interest in surrender to Krishna. So they can never benefit. They never can appreciate the topics of Krishna. Even though people may come and sit and they may hear about Krishna, but they do not get the real benefit of hearing topics of Krishna because there's so much identifying with the material body and the senses. Their interest is just simply material life. They have not understood the real nature of the soul. This has to be awakened by hearing the holy name of Lord Krishna, by chanting the glories of the Lord, and by hearing from scriptures like Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. We have to take to the process of bhakti yoga in order to understand Krishna. There is no other way. People have some sentimental attraction to Krishna, and they think Krishna is a cowherd boy and he enjoys with young girls, and they want to imitate. That is the most sinful thing they can do, when people try to imitate Lord Krishna. When people think of Krishna as an ordinary person, it is very offensive. Just like if the head of the state, if the Prime Minister of Malaysia is to come, and if we think of him just like an ordinary person, it is not very proper. He will not be very much pleased. And similarly, if people think of Lord Krishna as just simply an ordinary person, and if we minimize his position, we think all the demigods are just the same as Lord Krishna, he's just one of the gods. They think, oh, Krishna, Shiva, Brahma, Ganesh, all are one, it's all the same. This is offensive. This is not true. It's not supported by evidence of the scriptures. So we have to understand clearly what is the position of Lord Krishna and why is this day of Janmastami so important. It is our opportunity to understand more the pastimes of Lord Krishna and Lord Krishna's purpose in coming into this world. It's an opportunity for all of us to awaken the bhakti which is within all of us. Bhakti is in everyone's heart. It has to be awakened by hearing. So Janmastami is an opportunity for all of us to engage in this hearing process, cleansing the heart and awakening our real consciousness of Krishna. So we will stop here now and we'll ask if there's any questions.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Now, Hare Krishna Maharaj, so with your permission, we're making some announcements for tomorrow function and day after tomorrow function, and then I have a Arati Maharaj for all the devotees to view then.
Oh yes, right.
So with your permission, Maharaj, I'll carry on.
Okay, Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, on behalf of the Temple Management Council and all assembled Vaishnavas, we take this opportunity to thank His Holiness Bhakti Vignana Narasimha Swami Maharaj and given wonderful explanations about the the advent of Lord Krishna. And we thank you, Maharaj, to very blessed to have your association this morning. And all of us wish you, Maharaj, happy Krishna Janmastami.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Same to everyone.
So the next very important announcement for all of us, what's going to happen tomorrow and day after tomorrow. So with that, I'd like to invite His Grace Siddhi Sadhana Prabhu, the chairman for this festival, to elaborate on this Janmashtami festival and Srila Prabhupada Vyasa Puja. Siddhi Sadhana Prabhu, the floor is yours. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Guru Maharaj, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, and Jai Bhakti Vikna Vinashaya Maharaj. And thank you very much for giving us such pastime and knowledge about Lord Krishna himself. And today is a very auspicious day that we, as usual, although it's COVID, and still we are able to celebrate Adivas as by Guru and Krishna's mercy. So tomorrow we will have the most important festival, which is Krishna Janmastami, and the preparation been done, and tonight will be continue doing, because the TMC, the council, SJMKL council members have decided to give offer the Lord whatever we have done previous years without compromising. So, and that also happening with the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and Krishna. So Sri Krishna Janmastami festival is just one more day, and not even a day. And tomorrow, in couple of, I think maybe 8 hours more, preparation will be starting in full swing tonight, and tomorrow we will be celebrating. So that come and join us on Monday, 30th August evening via Zoom. Zoom room opens at 5:30 p.m. onwards. We will be starting with presentation of Pandava Sena and Kaishorya, followed by Tulasi Puja. And we have Tulasi Puja, and we have Guru Puja, and about 6:30 we have Sandhya Arati, and we have Sri Sri Radha Gokulananda procession at 7 o'clock, and Abhishek ceremony at 7:30. Please don't miss this. It's very auspicious to see the Lord is bathed with all auspicious items, and welcome speech by Vice President and address by co-temple president. There will be a special speech also by representative from Indian High Commission. And we have Dato Mohan Shan from Hindu Sangam will be all are short speeches, and special lecture by very special by His Grace Dinabandhu Prabhu from Vrindavan will be played. He will be talking about a special pastime of Lord Krishna. We have special Unjal Seva tomorrow. Please take part. This is organized by TMC Management Council for the it's special, especially we are offering together with the Unjal Seva Puspa Abhishek for the well-being of the congregation devotees. So then after that, we'll have virtual Boga offering from your home. Please take part. And Boga offering, please participate and turn on your video and show your offering of Boga for the pleasure of their Lordship. So be ready, please on your camera. And after that, we'll have Ratri Boga offering for the deities and midnight Arati. And when midnight Arati, please be prepared with your ghee lamp. You can also offer the Lord. So the Lord is very merciful that He's giving us the opportunity, even this year with all this COVID, to celebrate Janmastami. So I hope we will enjoy this festival and get more and more blessings so that we will be able to do more service for the Lord and Guru and Krishna. Thank you very much. Hope to see you all tomorrow. Hare Krishna.
The next program will be Arati. to Sri Sri Radha Gokulananda.
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna
Ini masih ada. Satu